uses an event-driven architecture. So Playwright internally uses a communication protocol called WebSocket. Okay, you might ask me, what is the difference between both of them? So the Selenium, so for each command you write in Selenium, it is going to make an API call to the server, get the response, do its actions. But Playwright, the connection is always open between you, the client, and the browser. So the time that it takes to call and get the response and do an action will reduce drastically when it comes to Playwright because it doesn't have to open a connection every time. The connection is always open. So that is why it uses a communication protocol called WebSocket. So it is an event-driven thing. So that is why Playwright actually wants to use WebSocket technology, and browser support both are having the same. I'm not going to give any extra marks to Playwright over here, but the ease of setting up and running on multiple browsers, that is where Playwright gets an extra point. It is very easy to configure. And you'll see when we are actually seeing the day-to-day demo that we are going to have from tomorrow. And language support, yes, Selenium has an edge over here, but guys, the one thing that you guys need to remember is quantity is not the key factor here. Quality is the key factor. Okay, Selenium allows us to code in Ruby, PHP, but honestly, who's actually coding in Ruby and PHP for Selenium? No one, right? So Playwright actually focuses on the programming languages, libraries that people are actually using. It doesn't care about Ruby and PHP because a lot of people don't use them. And the next thing is the best thing, the one of the best features of Playwright is auto waiting. A lot of people ask me what is auto waiting. When you see the feature tomorrow, when we are actually seeing the course, your mind will be blown. Okay. So in Selenium, it requires explicit waits, but Playwright, there is a concept called auto waiting, and it will be amazing. Okay. With respect to debugging, so debugging, you need to write in Selenium, you need to write it to a report, you need to write report logs, etc., etc. You need to depend on test engine or you need to depend on JUnit and everything. But with Playwright has an inbuilt test runner. Okay. And it has a beautiful feature called trace viewer. You can see what happened end to end, even what happened in the console logs and what happened in the network logs also. A lot of people might not know what is a console log and a network log now, but believe me, by the end of this course, you'll be able to know what all those are. Okay. And performance, like I told you, Playwright is faster because it follows the event-driven WebSocket architecture. And community. So what is community support? So when you ask a question about Playwright on Google, the number of answers that you get on Stack Overflow or the number of answers you get on GitHub. So that is where the community thing comes in. Selenium is there from long time. So that is why you see a lot of community support. Since Playwright has been in market only in the last 4 years, the community support is not as much as it is there for Selenium, but it is growing very rapidly. Believe me, in the last 2 years, it has grown multifold. The community support has grown multifold. Okay, so these are the key differences that you can see. I am going to share this PPT with you guys or the PDF with you guys once this demo session is over. So you can go through the other table that is on the right side and why we are not using Cypress and why we are only using Playwright also. Okay, a lot of people have this question, why not use Cypress instead of Playwright? I'm going to tell you, Playwright is the best automation tool right now in the market. And we are going to see why it is the best automation tool in the whole course. Okay, believe me. Next thing, yeah, the hiring trends that
Sorry. In past slide, I have a question. So regarding debugging only.
Mhm.
So like Java or C Sharp, right? We are debugging something, our test cases code. So how it is, Playwright is better than Selenium?
So with respect to debugging, so when you say debugging, I'm not talking about the debugger that you use in your IDEs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm talking about how do you want to see the whole journey of your test case from starting to ending. So if you want to see that in Selenium, you need to configure a reporter. In that reporter, you need to add a, screenshot before everything, like what
Yep.
happened before and what happened after.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know what happened in the backend? How do you know what happened in the network logs? So
So
for
does
that, you need
this
to import another library called har and then use
mhm.
that.
Okay.
Let's say if
So
you want to see the video of your test case, you need to get another third party library and integrate it.
mm-hmm.
But for Playwright, you don't need any other third party library. Everything is inbuilt.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so now with the hiring trends, yeah, I know a lot of people are interested in this. So I'm going to tell you guys. So believe me, in the last 1 year, okay, all the automation, at least 90% of the automation job openings now have a keyword search for Playwright. The companies, they don't care if you are a Playwright expert or not. Okay, they expect you to know at least the basics of Playwright. At least how do you navigate to a web page using Playwright? Do you know why companies want that? The companies want that because
Basically it's a Microsoft supported.
no, it's not about who has built it. The reason is companies always like people who can overcompensate. Okay, companies always like people who know a skill that is extra because tomorrow you never know in some MNCs how the client will behave. Sometimes the client will say, I heard that there is a tool called Playwright. I want you to do a POC on it and implement all the test cases in that. How is the company going to uh, hire someone in Playwright that quickly? They'll not be able to do that, is it? So that is why now all the companies, at least 90% of the companies, they want people with that extra skill set. And what is that extra skill set that the companies
Let
are
me create
asking
a
for
new package, January
in test
26,
automation? That is
2026.
Playwright. Okay. So I don't want to lie to you guys. I'm not saying everybody in every company is not implementing Playwright, but
Free map.
every company is expecting you to know
Okay.
Playwright. Okay. So the
1 comma
moment
8.
you have the keyword Playwright in your resume, the chance of your resume getting hit in the
Okay.
ATS search
In
is going to
hash
get
map,
increased by at least
linked
50%.
hash map, free
Okay.
map.
So this is
Okay.
a tip I'm giving you guys in the first session itself. So there is a keyword called Playwright in your resume. You have 50% higher chances to getting recognized, of your profile getting
Present in the
recognized.
map. What is the output?
Okay. See, all these things that I wrote here, you guys might have already known about this. Okay. Rapid growth in playwright adoption, increasing demand for playwright skills, 20% annual growth in playwright jobs. The 20% annual growth in playwright jobs, this was 1.5 year ago. Do you know the number now? Can anybody predict the number now? The number that is going right now in the market?
No, it's a Playwright is in demand. That's fine. So most of the people are asking for 80%, I guess, the Playwright,
Yeah.
right?
So the projected annual growth in playwright jobs is now at 65 to 70%. So see how fast the landscape is moving. So that is why at the start of the lecture I told you, I appreciate you guys for taking this class because you want to move with the flow. You don't want to get sidelined, right? So good. Okay, so these are the playwright hiring trends. So these are the average playwright engineer salaries. See, again, I don't get anything by lying to you. Okay, the entry level, the freshers, if you know Playwright or if you know Selenium, it doesn't matter, you are going to get paid the same. But where does this learning Playwright affect you is if you are a mid-level engineer or a senior level engineer, the package growth that you are going to see is multifold. I personally know at least 8 to 10 people who got 120% hike just because they know Playwright basics, not even Playwright advanced. Okay. So,
After this course, I will contact you.
yeah. So after just because they know Playwright basics. So that is how the landscape is moving. Okay. So yeah, now let's try to understand what is Playwright. Guys, you guys might have done your research by now. It's a modern automation framework for web testing and API testing as well. Okay. It has cross-browser support. It can be run on multiple web browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, and it can be run on multiple viewports as well. What do I mean by viewports? You can run it on a viewport. Let's say you want to open your web page on your Samsung mobile. Your Samsung mobile is Samsung S25. You want to run your test case on Samsung S25. You can do that also using Playwright. And configuring that is very simple. Okay. And the next thing is auto weighting and reliable element selection. We'll see all these when I'm teaching you. But the concept of auto weighting and user first selectors, that is a very good feature in Playwright. So why user first selectors, we'll see. Okay, like I said, powerful debugging tools and trace viewer. So there are tools like Playwright Inspector, Playwright Code Gen, Playwright Trace Viewer, and Playwright UI mode. Okay, all these tools are useful for debugging. And my favorite is Trace Viewer, and believe me, when you see Trace Viewer, you're going to love it. Okay. And the next thing is network interception and mocking capabilities. So this is another interesting concept in Playwright, which is also there in Cypress. So whenever you are actually going through the websites, what you guys don't notice is a lot of things are happening in the backend. Okay. Based on what is happening in the backend only, you see whatever you see on the UI. But what if you can manipulate what is happening in the backend? Now the question that comes out is, why do I have to manipulate something in the backend? So there may be n number of reasons. One main reason why people want to manipulate backend is they do not have that enormous amount of test data. So that is why they want to mock the network calls that are happening in the backend and see that on the UI. You can actually do that in Playwright seamlessly without any problem. So this is one of the great features in Playwright, which is very easy to configure and run your test cases. And like I said, mobile emulation, like if you want to test it on iPhone 13, iPhone 16, you can do that. It's inbuilt. Or let's say if you want to run it on a Motorola phone, like, or a BlackBerry phone that is not there in production right now, you can do that also. But how do you do that? We'll see in the lecture. But there are a lot of inbuilt things like iPhone 13, iPhone 16, or any modern mobile. Okay, you can emulate that. You don't even need to use Appium or anything. But but just to make you guys understand, Appium can run apps and also your web pages in browsers, right? But Playwright cannot run your apps. Maybe in the future they'll do it, but right now Playwright doesn't support that. But if at the end of the day, if you still want to test your apps, you still need to use Appium. Okay. Right. And the other thing a lot of people ask, why am I learning TypeScript for test automation? Why can't I do Java? You can do Java, no problem. Because there is Java support for Playwright also. But there are a lot of features in TypeScript or JavaScript that are native to Playwright. Okay, if you go to Java, what is going to happen is you have to end of the day you have to again use the test-ng as your test runner, or you have to use JUnit as your test runner. You cannot use the beautiful features of Playwright like trace viewer or running them on CI easily when you port to a language like Java. So a lot of features that are native to Playwright are there in TypeScript or JavaScript. That is why we are learning TypeScript today. And the other question is, why not JavaScript? Yes, you can learn JavaScript also, but the reason we are learning TypeScript is a lot of people I see now are migrating from Java Selenium to TypeScript Playwright. So the people who use Java, they are actually used to static type checking. A lot of people might not know what is type checking. Don't get confused, guys. We'll see what is type checking when we are seeing TypeScript. But for the people who are already in the market, who are already in Java Selenium, a lot of things we declare with data types and everything.
Kaila,
So to
Kaila,
make sure we have a
did you see
similar
corn?
kind of experience, we are actually moving to TypeScript instead of JavaScript. JavaScript doesn't have any type checking. It is very, what do you say, very irrational at times. So that is why we need to adapt to a tool like TypeScript, which has static type checking and enhanced object-oriented programming features. So there are features like interface, type, and everything in TypeScript, but you don't find them in JavaScript. Okay. So that is the reason we are going with TypeScript as our programming language. Okay. So the curriculum overview you see here.
Listen, will you finish that one?
Can you go on mute? Somebody is talking. Yeah. So I will show you the curriculum overview in a separate place. So let me know if you guys are able to see my Chrome. Is are able to see my Chrome?
Yes.
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
Right. So we are actually going to see the curriculum here. So the first thing we are going to know is TypeScript essentials for test automation. So this covers all the basic and advanced concepts of TypeScript that are needed for you to become a good automation tester using Playwright. Okay. So this is where we are going to spend most of our time because this is the foundation. If foundation is strong, you can do anything. So this is why we are going to spend majority of the time. See, I gave it test 10 hours here. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm going to complete it in 10 days. If it takes more days to make all of you guys understand all the concepts, I have no problem in taking more than 10 hours. The idea of this course is to make sure you guys understand everything. Okay. So on an average, it is going to take 10 hours. Okay. So what are those? Introduction to TypeScript, basic programming. So what we'll see in basic programming, data types, operators, enums, loops, and then we'll see object-oriented programming, and then advanced TypeScript features. So when I say advanced TypeScript features,
generic graph, nothing to
we are
point
going
out
to
any.
see the
44
async
lakhs per
programming
annum.
concepts.
What?
People can ask
44
me what
lakhs?
is async
That is your
programming.
salary right now?
So there are
Yes,
concepts
and I'm
called
hoping to make
callback,
around
promise, async, await in JavaScript and TypeScript. So we need to understand what is async programming first, and then try to, implement all these things, because all these things like promise, async, and await are going to get used in our Playwright code. Okay. So you guys need to understand these async programming concepts. So this async programming concepts itself is going to take you almost 3 to 4 days, 3 to 4 lectures. This is very important for you to go to Playwright fundamentals. Okay. And the next thing is the Playwright fundamentals, where we'll see basic things, how to actually navigate to a web page, assert its title, what is a browser context, what are different types of timeouts. And the second concept is about locators. So how do we actually find the locators on a web page in Playwright? It is actually a bit different than how we do it in Selenium. Okay, so we'll see that also. And in addition, I'll actually tell you guys how to use CSS selectors and XPaths and when to use them in Playwright. So what Playwright suggests us to do is not to use this every time. So it has a concept called user first locators, which it wants us to use, and only use CSS selectors and XPath when you cannot use user first locators. Okay, so for that, you guys need to know what is CSS and XPath. We will have a separate class to understand what is CSS selectors and XPath and where to use them. And then there are concepts like filtering and chaining locators and handling dynamic locators. So handling dynamic locators is something that you have to see in any kind of automation tool. But filtering and chaining locators is something that is native to only Playwright. Okay, and then we'll see interacting with web elements, the basic things, click, double click, filling in a text box, checking a checkbox, unchecking a checkbox, and a radio button, how to handle drop downs, how to handle hovering and drag and drop, all these things. And finally, we are going to see assertions. How do you assert something in Playwright? They have a concept called expect. Using that expect, we can actually do some assertions. And then, like I told you, we are actually going to see Playwright Inspector, Trace Viewer, and how to actually take screenshots and record videos using Playwright also. Believe me, when people see this taking screenshot and recording videos, a lot of people have PTSD because they think it is a very tough job. But believe me, in Playwright, it is very easy. All you have to do is change a value in the config file. And you can ask me what is a config file, you'll know it. Okay. And then we'll go to advanced Playwright techniques. So this is where we actually deep diver. Okay. That is where we actually see frames, pop-ups, how to upload and download files. So in Selenium, if you want to upload a file, a lot of times you have to use another third-party tool called AutoIT. So you don't have to use anything of such kind here. The support for file uploading and downloading is native in Playwright. And then how to interact with shadow DOM elements, handling multiple tabs and windows, everybody's favorite concept. And then, like I told you, network mocking and API testing with Playwright. How do you intercept network requests? How do you mock API requests and API responses? How do you validate API calls and everything? Okay. And then you'll see authentication and session management. How do you use an authentication state? So if you want to log in only once, but want to use the same state for 100 test cases, how do you do that? And then cross-browser testing, obviously. How do you run it on different browsers? Emulating mobile devices, like I told you, how do you run it on Samsung S25 or iPhone 16? Visual regression testing. So how do you actually make sure the page looks exactly the same the next time you log in or next time you navigate to that page? You can do functional testing, but how do you say this is how it looked when I last logged into this application? This is the same it is looking now. That is where this concept called visual testing comes in, and we'll see how Playwright actually handles that. And another favorite concept of all people, parallel test execution. We'll see what is parallel test execution and what is sharding. Although we'll not go in depth with respect to sharding, we'll see how parallel test execution is done. Okay. And then in module 4, we will see how to actually build a test automation framework, because that is what all the interviewers ask. Okay. What is there in your automation framework? Did you build an automation framework? How did you use OOPS concepts in it? Okay. So all these questions will be answered in this module. Okay. We will see how to manage data for different environments and everything. Okay. Then we'll see different types of reportings. So I mean, there are inbuilt reporters like HTML and JSON that Playwright already provides. But in addition to that, we will see how to integrate Allure report. Okay. Although HTML report that is being given by Playwright is more than enough, I know a lot of people ask how are you integrating Allure reporting or extend reporting into your projects. So that is the reason I've introduced this. So just to make sure you guys don't, keep mum in interviews, and you can, score extra points there. And then we'll see how to set up CI/CD using GitHub Actions. And then we'll also see how to handle retries. What are the different types of naming conventions you have to follow, and how to write tests in Playwright. So what are atomic test cases, and why the test cases should be independent. Okay. And then the module 5 is bonus. So this is artificial intelligence and test automation. So what we'll see here is how do you improve productivity as an automation tester using AI. So today, if you are taking 1 day to complete a script, how do you reduce it to half day? Okay. And then what are the AI tools for day-to-day use? So what are the tools that I use every day to make my life easier? So I am going to make your life also easier by telling you those AI tools. So, and another bonus thing that I want to show you guys is, so I am actually going to make you guys learn this whole thing on an actual working website. This is the website that is created by me for my students. Okay. This is a dummy e-commerce website where you can actually sign in, sign up, reset your password, add product to the cart, and create an order, delete all orders and everything. A to Z. Okay, this is a dummy website I created for you, which covers all of them. And so there is an automation playground also where you can actually go and play around. So this is for free. So once you guys start the course, this will be given to you, and then you can go here, play on this playground, and like everybody says, the theory is not going to matter. Like if you don't practice, it's useless. So this is just for the sake, like you guys should practice. So that is why this automation playground is something that is going to be very useful for you. And upload download demo is another page where I'm going to teach you guys how to upload files and download files. So that is something there. And if you guys want to see what is the curriculum, you can always go inside this and see what the curriculum is. And I have been an automation tester for almost 10 plus years. Okay. But I have never done any development in my whole life. So how do you think I have created this whole thing? So I've used AI to create this whole thing. Okay. So when I told you in the curriculum, and I told you what are the day-to-day AI tools I use, I'm going to tell you about this tool also. Okay. You can create your own websites. You can create your own landing pages. You can create your own portfolios. So imagine you're applying for a job, and there you actually see 4 fields. What is your LinkedIn URL? What is your uh, website URL? So a lot of people don't give the website URL because they don't have a website. So what is the application actually expecting from you is the application URL that you give should be your portfolio. Where should your portfolio lie? Your portfolio should lie on a web page. How do you create your web page? You guys are not developers, neither am I. But right now we are in an era where AI can create you almost everything. So I am also going to tell you how you guys can actually create a portfolio for yourself so that next time when you apply for a job, you can give that URL inside that application. Okay. So this is it. So if you guys have any questions now, you can actually go ahead and ask me.
So basically, yeah. Sorry, I have raised my hand. So one question from me. So in this course, we are going to cover both API and UI test, right?
So API testing is not in depth. So we'll see, we won't create a framework for API test, but I'll tell you how to actually call the get, post, put, patch, delete APIs
Mm-hmm.
and get the responses and assert them. That part I'm going to tell you.
Okay, and what it's a kind of same framework basically that we used in Selenium. It's a BDD or a data-driven something.
So we are going to use the data-driven framework. We are not going to use BDD. If you mean BDD Cucumber, so we are not going to use Cucumber. So
Mm-hmm.
we are going to use a data-driven framework using page object model.
Okay. So mostly you are focused on UI only, right? Not basically on API.
Yeah, you will know how to test APIs, but you won't create a framework for just solely for API testing.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't raise my hand. Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, the issue I'm trying to ask is that I'm currently working with Playwright, and yes, I'm writing tests, I am automating things, but my main focus now was I was previously in my company, we were previously using Java. So we transitioned from Java to C Sharp. And it's Playwright is very easy to use, but the only issue that I'm facing is that we are working on a framework that was built by my manager. Yes, he built it from scratch, but we don't know what he did. So we're just calling functions from whatever. We don't know how it was actually settled there. So our main focus will be to understand how the framework is actually built. Will that be something that I will need to still enroll for the whole course, or I will need to come at a later stage?
So like I understand what you're saying. So this is a full-fledged course. Like even if you come at that point of time, you'll still have to pay the whole thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. But what I would suggest is you can actually talk with the marketing or the sales team. So they might actually give you more insights into how you can actually approach this.
I have a question. How long is this course? I mean, months or I know, I know it's happening on daily basis, and it's only on the weekdays, right?
Yes, it's only on the weekdays, and the duration of this course is 1.5 months is a guarantee, and
Okay.
it can based on the pace or based on the level of understanding of people and things like that. it might get extended to 2 months. 2 months is the maximum and 1.5 month is the minimum.
Okay. Yeah. And once after the course, if I need any help in setting up the framework or in my own project, can I expect any help from you in doing that?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay, perfect. And one last question. So I don't have any knowledge of Selenium or any knowledge of coding before. So is this still something that I can take the course?
Yes, you can still take the course, but remember to ask me a lot of questions don't
Hmm.
because since you are in the starting phase, you might have a lot of
Hmm.
questions when it comes to programming language. So when we are
Yes,
going
yeah.
to the course, ask me questions. So don't don't get intimidated by the fact that a lot of people already know it. So make
Right.
it a point to ask the questions so that way you won't lose out on what we are actually teaching. Okay.
Understand. And even if I have to contact you one to one, if my questions, taking a longer or whatever, is that possible? That's something that I can do.
Yes, you can always ping me on my WhatsApp if you have if you have something that you really don't understand.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sunil here. I have one question. Course,
Yes.
say the actual implementation of framework as that we used to do in the real time in companies, because
Yes.
the my current organization is that transforming from that Selenium to that Playwright, and I have to implement that for my organization. So I'm not aware with the framework, all those things, how that
Yeah.
actually will be in that.
Right. So you will build a framework from scratch. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to build a framework from scratch. So for this course, you can assume that this best shopping mall that you see on the screen is your company, and you have to automate the test cases here. Okay. So I will make sure the course, I'll make sure the framework that we build will be keeping in mind this website. Okay. So that way we'll work on something that is more realistic.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question also. So, in case of any missing classes, will you be providing the recordings after the class so that I can access later and understand from there?
Yes, you will get a recording every day.
Okay, thank you.
So may I know the schedule of the class for this course?
So it it is already started today. So like I said, it might take anywhere between 1.5 months to 2 months. The classes are there like on every weekday, and maybe
Okay.
we might miss out on some public holidays, but
Okay.
like I said, 1.5 to 2 months. Yeah.
No, is that every day or is it once a week or like how
No,
the
it's every
classes?
day, Monday to Friday.
And the timing is the same one? The
Yes, the
9
timing is the same one.
Indian.
9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian time.
So it's 1 hour class, correct?
Yeah, it's a 1 hour class, but it's not like we are going to hard stop at 10. So if people are asking questions and if I have something more to tell, it might get extended by a 15 to 20 minutes also.
Okay. And how much is the fees for this course actually? I never seen in the chat somewhere in the WhatsApp group.
Can you actually ask the sales or the marketing team about this? So
Okay.
I am actually
Okay.
not aware of this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi,
I have another question. Um, Regarding the timings, right? It is, as you said, 9 to 10 p.m. Indian time. So, is there any other courses going on which is like Indian morning time? Any idea, or I need to contact?
You can contact the sales team.
Mhm.
As far as I know, there should be.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
There one more question. Actually, that I have to implement that Playwright with JavaScript. So there won't be any problem that TypeScript and JavaScript.
So we will be focusing on TypeScript, but once I start teaching you, you'll understand it's almost the same. Okay,
Okay.
so it won't be a tough job for you to do it. Okay. So
Yeah.
whenever we are actually starting, Playwright, just remember me that you want to know something that is with respect to JavaScript. So when I teach, I might not show you everything hands-on, but I'll tell you what are the different types of changes that you might see when it comes to JavaScript. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
One more question. Is there any possibility that when if you also provide class during the morning time?
I don't do it in the morning time. So I mean, like I said, you can ask the team. There might be some the Playwright course being taken by another instructor in the morning. So you can actually ask them.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. If you specifically need me teaching, at this point of time, it's only at 9 p.m. in the IST.
In future, any possibilities?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I cannot guarantee anything right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. See, even if you are not able to make it to a class in the night, you will actually get a recording every day. But yeah, I understand that a lot of people are joining this because they want a live class. But yeah, so if you really want something here only, then I suggest you go through the recordings. But end of the day, it's up to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
makes
also
sense. Yeah. Sometimes it's about instructor, like the way you explain the things, it really makes sense. So want to stick with you. That's the thing. That's why I asked you if you are also running any classes during the morning time. But thank you all the informations.
yeah, I also have similar kind of issue. Like I live in a PST time. It's very conflicting my meetings with class timings. So I'm also looking for the any other times so I can attend the classes. That would be great if you're running any other batch except
Yeah.
this.
Right now, I'm not running any other batch in the mornings. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, end of the day, there will be someone else. But I said, if you want only me, the only way you can do that is by getting the recordings and see that. But like I said again, if you wanted to go to recordings, you might have went somewhere else also. But
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would like to attend a live batch because I can ask questions
questions, yeah.
and all. So
I got a question so all those codes like which you do, if you're doing like any coding and all, is there anything like a GitHub repo or somewhere you'll be uploading it so we can refer?
Yep. Yes. So I have already taught few batches and the GitHub repos are already there. So I'll share it with you so you can go through them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll share it with you guys after the first week so you can go through them. Yeah. But we'll keep updating them. So like I told you, this is the first batch that is actually going to work on this website because this is something that I've created recently, to make the framework building and everything a bit more realistic. So we will be making a lot of changes also to the existing GitHub repositories.
Hey, hi.
Actually, I am from the performance testing background. Okay. And suppose today is you are teaching us for us TypeScript. For example, today the company having different requirement with the Playwright, same thing like Java. So how can we overcome this?
If your company is having a requirement with Java, so you should take up the course that actually has Playwright with Java.
Okay, again we need to learn Java, right?
Yeah, you need to know Java first, because Java is the language that you're going to be coding in, right? So you need to know Java first, and then you need to know how Playwright library is there in Java, how things are actually happening in Java. They're a bit different. So yeah.
Okay, but the trend is following do you have Playwright with Python also?
Yes, we have Playwright with Python also. Yes.
Okay. Among these, which will be having most, TypeScript or else Java or else Python?
So right now the wind is towards TypeScript. Okay. So at least for the next 2-3 years, that is how it's going to be. And I don't see it changing in the future. The reason being, so if you ask anybody outside, like let's say you take 100 people who are working on Selenium. So what are the majority people going to tell you? They're saying they're working on Selenium with Java, right?
Right.
So I think that is going to be the same case with Playwright. They're going to say we are working with Playwright with TypeScript or JavaScript. Majority of the people are going to say that, but there are always going to be the 10% of people who are working on Java, Python, or C# also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
One question I have, in our company, we have already the regression suite created in the Cypress, and now the management has decided to move that Cypress regression suite into the TypeScript plus Playwright. So, in this case, do we have any tool, or we have to like explicitly convert those test cases in the Playwright?
We don't have a tool per se. Like it's not like there is a tool that actually converts everything for you. But see, the AI tools that we use every day, like ChatGPT or anything, if you upload your whole folder in a zip format and you ask it to convert it into Playwright, okay, it
Okay.
is going to convert. But see, end of the day, the zip file you might be sending will be in MBs, in megabytes. So for it to actually do that kind of a data extraction and then again put it inside a new zip file, it takes a lot of tokens. So even if you take a pro plan or a pro plus plan also, that might not be enough. So
Okay. So actually, one of our colleague, he's trying to like one by one, he's trying to convert the test cases. But what is happening over there? That the concern was there are still some issue going on, and with the help of AI only, and uh, like like the conversion is not taking the time, but that code reviewing is taking the time, like
yeah,
where it is getting break, and what is the problem. So
yeah, the reason is, see, AI is not foolproof. Okay, end of the day, it is going to reduce your time, but you have to review it. It's not like you just tell it to change and you directly commit it to your main branch. You have to review it, you need to run everything. So yeah, that is always there. It's not like if you use an AI tool, the results are picture perfect.
okay.
But you can use AI as your companion. That is for sure. you can improve your productivity.
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more question that we'll see that CI/CD pipeline as well.
Yes, we'll see GitHub Actions.
Okay.